Ah, oh boy, look at all this. Where are we? Well, we are on All the Mods 9 to the skies. Yes, and this is gonna be a more mod pack focused playthrough where my main goal is just getting to the All the Mods star. And as always, let's go ahead and start with the right foot. And we started this pretty cool starting island, you know, not gonna lie. But we need to go ahead and create a team. We can choose a template to start with, a classic, direwolf, cozy cottage. I think the cozy cottage would be a cool thing to start with, you know, just to not have the same start always to a skyblock. And the team is gonna be Flo's team. I'm gonna put my name Vlofast. There we go. And create. And we're gonna go into a humble abode. Oh, look at that! We got some animals. That's gonna save some time. We also have some crops over here. We got the piggies. We got the chickens. We got some random chickens out of the pen as well. Oh, look, another egg. Couple eggs. Oh boy. Yeah, so we are all ready to start this mod pack. So I'd say our main goal is to quickly go through all of the basics over here and get ourselves into mechanism power, which I believe is where they want us to go. But as always, we need to start somewhere, right? And I believe the right way to start is by chopping down a tree and by, shift right clicking in grass, because this is gonna give me some pebbles, and with the pebbles we can then later start crafting things. Pink petals. Basically, this is your first way of getting your hands into cobblestone and also some of the other rocks, but I don't believe they're gonna be really needed at the start. So I'm gonna sit here a while and then I'm gonna chop that tree off so we can actually start. Also, just a quick question for you guys. Do you guys play with GUI scale 2 or 3? Because I like to play with 3 because it shows better in the videos, you know, what I'm doing. Things are just overall easier to see. So, but what do you guys play on? So, get our hands on a hammer and get our hands on a crook. Those are two of the most essential tools when you start, a skyblock. Basically, you want to use a crook to get a bunch of things from these saplings. The most leaves, the most apples. The crooks are really good at dealing with this. And I believe they should give me silkworm. Yep, exactly. You get yourself a silkworm and you right click on the leaves and it will start to infest the leaves, and it should give you string later when you collect the leaves. And the hammer, well, basically the hammer is for you to crush items. So now we got gravel, we got sand, and we got dust. These are all a couple of things that are required in the mission, and I do need 3 gravel though. And as you can see, it is now all infested, so we can just climb up on here and use our crooks, get our hands on string. We do need a bunch of. Try and grab as much as we can. That's all right. I believe that's enough for now. Possibly. If we need more, we'll get it later. Now the next step is get my hands on a couple of pieces of flint with all that gravel. Grab myself a tree, which I've started to store some of my items so I don't have my inventory full. Grab myself a tree and get all of these leaves, and then I can just lump them down here. And I believe it should convert into something. There we go. We are now officially making dirt. But arguably something more important is this guy, a crucible, because a crucible will give us water. So after a little bit of sieving, now with some flint meshes, we are getting our hands on our first diamond and on 3 iron ore. And I have some extra sieves, which I'm going to upgrade to make this process a little bit faster. But the 3 is the magic number. Why? Because with 3, we can now officially start making a water bucket. Because that's all I kind of need right now, because we already have a decent amount of water here sitting up. So we can even grab more leaves and add it to the pile. So it just keeps on getting us some water, even though we technically don't need more. Because we only need 2 buckets and we already have the 2 buckets. But you get the deal, right? More is never enough. So we're getting our hands on our first bucket. Means, boom, water. We have water. I'm gonna make a small pond here, I guess. The typical 2x2 of water that everybody needs to do in any skyblock ever. There we go. Infinite amounts of water. Now, get lava. So by mixing up clay, bone meal, we got porcelain clay, and now we just need to make ourselves a crucible or an unfired crucible, and then add it out here, and it's gonna make us the fired crucible. And I just tossed in some andesite on a fired crucible that's on top of a torch, and now eventually we'll add lava. Now I got 2 buckets, which means a water bucket and a lava bucket. And of course, with the lava bucket comes the next natural upgrade, which is the almighty cobblestone generator, which still need a piece of glass. And boom, we got a cobblestone generator, which means we are now ready to start getting tons and tons of resources just by, well, having this guy down doing things. And boom, infinite cobblestone. And after a little bit of crafting and doing some basic things from the mechanism mod, we now have our hands on our actual first renewable energy source, which is a wind generator or a wind turbine or a windmill or whatever you want to call this. It's basically a wind generator from mechanism. To get our hands on this, we had to basically get the coal generator to have some basic amount of power. I also made a mechanical hammer and a mechanical sieve to actually give me some resources automatically, and I thought they would auto output to the bottom because they require hopper, but they do not, so it's just this. And we are making some basic control circuits. I also made a little bit of steel, and we're gonna start getting in some automations. By this, we have some logistical transporters. We already have some cables. I'm gonna make some more transporters because we definitely need it. And we can break these guys, and they actually store what they have inside of them, which is pretty good. And we don't need this guy to come with us. We're gonna come outside, and I guess we can set it up here for the time being. A lot of space for this. Basically, we want to grab our windmill right here, and we're gonna put it this way because the energy is gonna come here. Then we're gonna have a mechanical hammer and a mechanical sieve, and then we just grab our power cables. So now we have power, and we grab this. Now, of course, I do need some type of wrench or something like that. So take a look. Probably this one is the easiest one to do from pipes. So let's grab that. But yeah, and I do have a little bit of ore doubling going on. Basically, we grab the iron ore, we break it down into the raw iron. Then we're going to use this hammer, this copper hammer, to actually just break it down into a double amount. It's still not very efficient, as you guys might expect, but it is still a way of ore doubling. But it does require a lot of copper, 18 copper, to make this hammer, and it doesn't last for that long. And we can make the configurator because this pipe wrench was not working. But the configurator, even though it does not have energy, it can still be used to toggle on the pipes. So you can do whatever you need to do with it. As you can see, we're also now automating the process of dirt, which is really handy whenever we want to start moving some quests and finishing things and expanding and whatnot. And yes, as I thought, one single windmill is not producing enough power, so we probably need to make another one. Yep, the second one fixed it. We now have enough power to keep these guys infinitely running, which is great. Now, the only thing I really need to is give this guy a supply of redstone, of cobblestone, and we are good to go. He has a space for a hammer there. I wonder if I can put an extra hammer and it works faster, or I don't know. Yep, exactly. If I give it another hammer, it will work faster. But of course, it takes durability out of it. Which is alright, you know, I don't really bother with it that much, because it means that this guy is constantly working, so that's a win-win for me. And I think I'm just gonna grab a chest real quick. Place it here, and put a transporter here. And do that, and grab a couple of stacks of cobblestone, and just leave it like this, and we can move on into other things while this thing is actually giving me a bunch of resources. We also need to make like a drawer wall of some kind, because we're gonna get a bunch of resources. It's gonna fill up really quickly, but we need to store all these. Now that we have our ores automations going, we do need an extra automation to get some extra resources. And I'm talking getting my hands on quartz. And how am I gonna do that? Well, we have Skycraft, and Skycraft offers us this little bad boy, the extractor. And why is this guy so good? Well, as you can see, it can be used to get something like amethysts automatically, and we can even get andesite. I believe we can get pretty much all the regular stones like basalt, deep slate, calcite, cobblestone, like pretty much every single one of these stones we can get. And if we can get our hands on all the stones, we can also get our hands on some netherrack. Yes, and netherrack will be the key on us getting our hands on some quartz, because if we crush it, we get crushed netherrack, and if we sieve it, we get nether quartz, and of course some extra items, but mainly nether quartz. That's what we need right now. Oh well, in order to get what we need, there's something extra we need to do, and that extra thing is grab ourselves a piece of obsidian, a bucket of lava, a bucket of water, and an igneous extruder. Now, why do we need this combination? Well, basically, in order to make the Skycraft items, we need this together to make ourselves some kiwi or kiwi or wherever this block is called. And you can do this with a piece of obsidian, water, and lava, and boom, we got ourselves kiwi. Now, of course, this is actually a pretty good block to build, so I might just use it to build stuff. But we need this for our extractor, because without this, it's just simply not going to work. So, for example, the crafting recipe here requires us to make an extra piston. So I might as well just make all of them if I can, and we can make 2 extractors. There we go. Now, with this, I just kind of need to get back what I had, because I had to use the 2 lava pieces that I had here. But basically, the recipe we want is gravel, lava, and the extractor on top, and it should work. Now, I actually saw this pretty cool recipe, and I want to try this out. I'm gonna get rid of that. And I believe if I put a lava bucket, dripstone, and the extractor, it should, in theory, pick up the lava from underneath. Should it not? I believe that's the recipe I saw here. Take a look. This recipe. So what am I missing? I have to be missing something. Ah, so that's how we get lava then. Okay. Okay. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that, though we don't really have. Oh yeah, we're getting lava. That's good. That's good. Basically, we have to make it upside down. Like literally. All the machines need to be upside down, which I believe it's gonna be a common thing. Um, it's definitely weird because of the orientation that it says here. I'm having trouble finding this orientation for some reason, but it works. So not really gonna complain, and I believe that's how it should work for all the stuff. Yeah, quite possibly, though a lot of these say they can have any type of orientation. For example, this one says oh wait, orientation up. Oh, so this one is only upward. Okay, so I guess that's how it works, and just invert it? It's so weird. But we have access to, well, pretty much an infinite lava source without us having to bother with anything else, really. So, not gonna complain about that. And with this sword, we can make a lot of... This sword? What sword? Sword? I don't have a sword. Yeah, now we have lava. We can move on to some really cool things. So this is a creeper. What is that creeper? Oh my god, that scared me. So, as we said, we now have access to some netherrack, which is pretty cool. And these Psycraft machines, they look really handy. So we need to probably make more, and we're gonna have this looking better later down the line. But right now, we kind of need to get our hands much more of that kiwi stone, and we don't really have it going anywhere. So let's just put a drawer here real quick, so that these items actually go anywhere. So hopefully. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that I needed a lava bucket there. Yep, there it goes. Now it's working. So what's the next step after all of this? Well, I do want to improve this area over here because quite enough, you know, and they kind of want to automate the process of cooking and smelting and cooking and getting as much resources out of this as you can, and including probably upgrading this better. I don't know if I can, but according to the quest book, I will have to make these two, the flux sieve and the flux hammer, and they actually show us here a simple way of automating the process over here, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and make these two machines as well and make a better setup, I should call it. Yeah, it should be a little bit of a better setup. And so this is our basic setup. We have the cobblestone generator, which then feeds into the flux hammer, which goes to the flux sieve. The flux sieve takes the items down below. Then they get put through these crafters. Since this is this has a 16 item output, we need 2 tier 3 crafters, and each of them has 8 recipes to basically compress the items down, and we now have all of these ores. Of course, now we need to explore ways of making more resources, you know, like create, or even this integrated dynamics recipe, also pretty good. It doesn't give us 100% chance of getting 2 iron, but it still is a pretty decent chance. You know, we can go later for super recipes, or we could just go with this one. Not that bad. The pulverizer. Is the pulverizer going to be a pain to make? No, it isn't. It's just tin, some iron, glass, a piston. So a pulverizer does seem to be the easiest option to just start putting this into work, and then we go and send the items to the pulverizer. After they've been sent through a pulverizer, we then need to cook them, which means we need an automatic smelter, or we can just do a furnace upgrade. I believe it's this one, the augment generator, which basically turns the furnace into a energy furnace. Yes, I guess you can call it that. Or we can just do the smelter from mechanism, for example. And now the setup is complete, and we can take a look from the start. We have the hammer, we have the sieve, we have the 2 crafters with all the recipe. Then it goes into this chest. This chest, if the item that's inputted here does not need to go into the pulverizer, then it goes up and goes into here, and for example, the coal, the diamonds, and all of those things, they come straight here. Why? Why? Anyway, then if it needs to be processed through the pulverizer, it goes into the pulverizer. And then sometimes the pulverizer will get some items that do not get cooked. So if they're not gonna be cooked, then they're sent up like that apatite, and it's gonna go right into here. Then anything that can be cooked will be put into the furnace, and then as soon as it's cooked, it will be put into the system. Well, now there's a lot of empty spaces here. That's because I'm waiting for this thing to just finish. So I kind of need to make him a little bit faster, I'd say. But we do not have a lot of power, so I don't know if the power generation we have is enough for me to make the pulverizer faster at the moment. For example, as you can see, we have a piece of gravel that's just gonna sit here. It's not gonna go anywhere, I believe. Or it can be actually outputted here. If it had the space, it would be outputted into the furnace here, actually. It would be turned into slag. Now, I guess I can let it be cooked and be turned into slag, because we can then use it later, like make dirt or make concrete powder or something like that. So I'm just gonna let it use that at the moment. We need to put pulverizer faster and the furnace faster as well. But you know what, guys, I'm gonna end the video here for today, and as always, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.